You know, for some reason, despite it never being established that that was like the lower part of his unmanifested body, I didn't I didn't think he had feet. Big thank you to our $5 patron, Sin is Lancelot. Before I have this review of chapter 320 of Black Clover, please do me a favor, leave your own on chapter in the comment section down below, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, make sure to hit that little notification bell so you miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below, and I would appreciate any support you could give. Now, let's get into it. What's up, guys? I got Pencil here, and here we are review chapter 320 of Black Clover, which is known as the cause of all this. AKA, Lucius just keeps curb stomping the cast. Like, the entire cast. They just keep getting their foot shoved so far up their own behinds. Like, it's just embarrassing. But I'm actually really excited. I like what this chapter implies, does, everything in it. It's great. However, we're going to hop into the chapter itself. And you know what? I don't think I criticized this at the beginning or towards the end of the last chapter review. But I do got to criticize this. Asta. I mean, to be fair, Lucius probably has like super hearing or something like that. His senses are likely enhanced, so he probably didn't rely on magic sensing to tell where Asta was. But Asta, at the end of last chapter, you literally came out of a smoke cloud. Maybe if you hadn't screamed where your location was, Lucius wouldn't have dodged your decapitation. Like, do you think that's a thing? Like, you think in the alternate world where Asta didn't get mad that Lucius said Lucius was toying with magic knights, do you think if he just stayed quiet and swung, Lucius' life would have been ended here? Because I'm not saying Lucius entirely relied on it, but like, Lucius looking dead straight serious forward at the start of the chapter. Well, admittedly not the start of the chapter, at the end of last chapter. So I just love to imagine there's an alternate timeline on Black Clover where Asta shut up and he decapitated Lucius and then we're done. Like, there's just no more story after that. However, of course, such a thing didn't happen. Lucius dodged. However, the interesting thing is that he couldn't dodge perfectly, and I wonder if I'm not exactly sure whether that's a matter of him not being fast enough to move his entire body out of the way, because notably it's only his horn that gets chopped, not his hair, which has like recoil to it when he moves to dodge. But do you think Lucius just doesn't have full kinesthetic knowledge of his horns? Like, notably, when I duck under things, I have like general knowledge of my head, but my hair will sometimes still brush against things. And it's not like Lucius' horns. I'm not sure how his horns work. I'm not sure if they have like nerves in them or something like that. I don't get way too deep into this, but I'm not sure if they have nerves or anything like that. Maybe they do, because I'm not sure. He screams in what looks like anger rather than pain, and there doesn't seem to be any nerves inside the horn when we get to see it. So do you think he just like meant to dodge everything, like meant to dodge the entire swing, but just because his horns are like literally twice the size of his head, they got chopped anyway? Like, no, it was just funny. And I love how Asta, he can't even get like the full misthought out before Lucius snaps on him. And once again, I just gotta be impressed with Lucius' speed, right? Because in the matter of, in literally like probably half a second, he got extremely angry, and managed to blitz right over to Asta, grab his face, and slam him into the ground. Like, that takes some motion, that takes some effort, and that takes some darn speed and velocity. I cannot knock Lucius' hustle here, because when he slams him with that "you filthy brat," like, it's amazing too, because Lucius, once again, Tabata's doing a great job of just power. Like, power is the word when it comes with Lucius. Like, he's just pure dominance over all of creation right now, because this is Devil Union Asta. A character who up to this point has essentially been unstoppable. Like, from the moment he popped up in any sort of usable state to now, he's just been essentially running through the entire series. He made his way with the verse, essentially. And sure, there supposedly have been opponents that could have challenged him, like apparently 1/3 Meji could have challenged him, but we didn't get to see that. So to have Lucius just casually throw our main character so hard into the ground that they literally shatter the entire landscape around them is amazing, for one, and hilarious for two, as Lucius just like, Lucius treats Asta like I would treat an unwanted insect in my home that I accidentally stepped on and realized it was there. Like, I would just, that sounds bad. Don't abuse insects. Just remove them from your house peacefully. But like, he is curb stomping Asta repeatedly. Like, and I love how he's so angry that he can't even properly manifest most words. Like, he literally goes, trash, like he's just screaming, and it's hilarious. And true, not very dignified for a king, but also quite understandable considering up to this point, Lucius has been face tanking pretty much everything. Like, he's been hit by stuff. It's just that the stuff doesn't do any damage. Like, he got blasted in the face with fire and just laughed it off. Like, the man is just chilling right now. So for him to lose a piece of his body, even if it's something as insignificant as his horn, one, it makes him asymmetrical, and two, it's kind of scary. Like, it's weird to explain, because I'm trying to think of like an analogy that most people would have, right? But like, here, say you have like, I'm not sure. I know I have a bunch of younger cousins, but I'm not sure if everyone else does. But say for me, I'm playing around with a whole bunch of my younger family members, and like we're play fighting and stuff like that. And so far they've been like hitting me, failing to hit me. I've been dodging around, moving, bobbing, weaving. And then suddenly out of nowhere, one of them lands a punch that actually hurts. Like, I wouldn't react this way, like curb stomping them. However, I would be slightly concerned for my safety, and now especially watching out for that one. So I can see why Lucci is so furious with him. And just to prove the point of how powerful Lucci is, Mereoleona goes in for a punch, and all it does is give him like a light steam bath as Charlotte and Dorothy come in to save Asta, essentially. And once again, you gotta note, Devil Union had like 4 minutes on it, and who knows, some time has passed since Lucci started fighting the captains, but I don't think this was an organic detransformation. He was literally stepped out of Devil Union. Sure, stomped. He was literally stomped out of Devil Union. That's insane. Like, in a matter of, I don't know, let's say he stomped for every single word, right? Every single sound or speech bubble he had, he stomped. In 5 stomps, he took what was previously believed to be the strongest character in the entire verse, based off its feats and hypothetical scaling and statements, and just reduced it back to its base state. That is insane. However, of course, the biggest thing to take away from this is that, wait a minute, anti-magic attacks work on Lucci. We have to protect Asta because he seems to be the only key to victory. And, like, the thing is, I'm trying to look. What is Dorothy doing here? I mean, she's kind of just flying around, but it's been shown that she can't really... Actually, now that I think about it, I'm not sure. She hasn't shown... I don't think she's shown healing properties in the dream world. But I feel like the best thing for Dorothy to do in this case would have been to, like, warp him into the dream world, try to heal him or do something, or keep him safe there, because you know you aren't trapping Lucci in it, so you might as well at least attempt to keep Asta safe. But then again, if Dorothy dies, then he has no way out, unless he turns Devil Union and cancels the magic. So never mind. It doesn't make sense why she doesn't do that. But we see that Lucci, he's determined now, right? Because at first he kind of let Asta slide because all the captains were jumping him, so he's like, fine, I guess I'll curb stomp you ants first. But before, where Lucci kind of like, it sounds weird, but he did it to himself in the sense that he decided to like, he decided to test it, right? He put his finger up to Demon Destroyer and like looked at it and saw blood. Like, that was something he did on his own. Asta actually managed to damage him and cut off his horn when he didn't want to, or at least he wasn't in the mood for it. So now he's just hard going for Asta. Like, that's his only goal now. And you can see it because when Charlotte puts up like the whole briar barrier, he simply walks through it, right? Like, he doesn't, I mean, let me zoom in on this panel real quick. Does he walk through it or does he slice through it? I cannot zoom in on this panel, but it seems like, yeah, Lucci literally he kind of just walks through it. He's not even really bothered by it. He's really like just out of the way, proceeds to knock the two to the side and walk straight through the briar. And then of course Jack comes in and is like, yo, not gonna lie, I'm a commoner, so I ain't that much better than him, but I'm not gonna let this peasant kid just show me up. And he lunges in, ready to do some damage. But the thing is, he doesn't do any damage. And Lucci literally, like, it's such a casual motion too. Like, I get it. I think the whole reason Lucci is even like remotely fist fighting any of these people is because his magic is being like somewhat negated by the mansion that is mentioned later on that was put up by Rill, or the Twilight of Valhalla, I believe it's called. And I don't know, it's just still so surreal seeing a character other than Asta just like manhandle their way through the cast with just pure raw strength. And I know, could be magic fueled still, but still, just the idea of someone defeating another character by just uppercutting them really, really hard. And of course, we see Nozelle's going through his whole character stuff like, I'm a royal who learned something from that peasant. Anyone can fight with those fight against those who are far above them. And yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, he goes in to stab Lucci with all the different metal with all of his metal magic, and it just doesn't do anything. Like, the blades look sharp, but they literally just stop on Lucci's flesh. Like, they don't even dig in at all, and he just gets uppercutted away. And then, of course, we get to see the sibling combo, which I think is very, very cool. The sibling combo of Fugelion and Mereoleona with Salamander backing them. And I love their twin responses. Like, they're both looking forward to Asta's future for Fugelion as a Magic Knight because of his interactions with Asta, and as her prey due to her interactions with Asta. And they both blast Lucci with this gigantic burst of flame empowered by both of their abilities. Her new transformation, and Fugelion obviously using the spirit strength alongside his own, and it just does nothing. Like, this massive explosion of magical power is nothing to Lucci just casually moving. And I will admit, even though Mero's doing absolutely no damage, she is consistently getting back up, which is very impressive. And of course, we get to see that Lucci is now going for the other thing that's really getting in his way, which is Real's magic. And he just casually, like, I'm not even sure what he does. Who is that? Is that Fugelion? Does he? Hold on. No, okay. That's metal. That is metal. Oh my, I just realized what he did. I think he literally grabbed Fugelion out of the out of the attack that they did. He walked through their attack, taking absolutely no damage, and proceeded to use Fugelion as a throwing spear to absolutely shatter Real's match. Tabata's having too much fun with this, and I love it. I love all of this. The fact that he's just so dominantly powerful. It's great. And the thing is, since Real's magic was the only thing holding them up, and I'm guessing Real was pretty low on magic himself, the fact that the mansion, the Twilight of Valhalla, is now destroyed, it means that not only are Real and Fugelion down, as we can see by their pure white eyes and them falling, as the second level devil notes, oh, everyone's down, because that was the only reason they could fight. And the thing is, he's just like, hey, hate to say it, y'all are only human, and you went up against the pinnacle of our species, which is inherently stronger than you humans. Sucks to suck, but game over. And for some reason, game over is double pronounced, or like it's double capitalized, like game and over are both capitalized despite being in the same sentence. Was that a video game reference in an ancient night world? No, I'm kidding. But we see that now that all this is done, right? Like, all of his other opponents are now laying flat on the ground, since the only thing that let them rise up in the first place, their amp, is now gone. His current prey is just laying out there, dying, I guess. And yeah, it's time for Lucci to get him up out of here. And I'm not sure how flexible y'all toes are, and I'm not here to judge anybody. So I'm actually interested to learn, is this just devil biology? Like, why are his toes so long and well defined, and why can he spread them so perfectly? Like, he spread them out like I would spread my hand. Like, what the heck? And the thing is, he goes into curb stomp this heavily damaged Asta to end him, because as the chapter title says, and as Lucci notes, that he's the cause of all this. He's the reason Lucci isn't fully manifested. He's the reason all these people have hope. He's the reason that they even have a fighting chance. So by getting rid of him, they essentially Lucci essentially deletes any challenge that can heretofore bother him from this point. And of course, the person who comes in and saves him is his homie from all that long ago, with the glimpse of a star. He's finally owed one. And Yuno pops up with Mimosa, instantly ready to heal Asta back up and get him in the battle. So this leads to a couple things. One, it seems like the captains are officially out of the battle. Like, I don't see Tabata bringing them back for another round. I'm kind of shocked they got 2 chapters, but hey, I'm happy they got 2 chapters to get curb stomp, because just once again reinforces how amazing Lucci is and how he shouldn't be here so soon. But the thing is, that's great. Now they're out of the picture. Now we can focus on our more main characters. Now, what does this mean? I do think it means that Lucci needs to put his skirt down. But 2, it does mean that the Light Triad, as I believe they're commonly referred to as, they're probably going to have a fight, like, all together. I do think that Noelle may pop up out of the ruins. Well, no. We know she's there because the bull was destroyed. So she may rise up, go into Saint Stage again, pull up on Lucci. I can definitely see, obviously, I feel like the only way Yuno's going to be able to keep fighting is by entering Saint Stage. I don't think but the thing is, ironically enough, base Yuno is the one who's sort of standing there with a shield up that's somehow resisting all of Lucci's magic. Like, he is there. He is the one putting up that shield, I'm assuming. I don't think that's Mimosa. So it's pretty impressive for a base Yudo. I know his star magic is active. I think his star magic just being active gives him an amp. But pretty darn cool that he has enough physical strength, or not physical strength, magical strength and raw power, even in base. While, I'm not sure. I think he may be tapping. He's beloved by mana, regardless, I think. I'm pretty sure he doesn't need his elf state to be loved by mana. So he's doing pretty darn good for just base. So now, one of two things is going to happen. Either Yuno's getting curb stomped next, which, I wouldn't complain. The thing is, though, like, with as great as Lucci is, you're gonna have to get rid of him one way or another. And that either means defeating him or banishing him. But I'm wondering which way we're gonna go here. Because the thing is, if Yudo gets stomped out, we've already seen Asta quite literally get stomped out. Where do we go from here? Like, after, let's say, because everyone's predicting, and I don't even blame everyone because I predicted too, that Yudo's just gonna curb stomp next chapter. Where do we go? Like, who's left outside of Noelle? Who's likely gonna get curb stomped too? Maybe all you Julius fans who went the man beyond belief, you'll get something. I don't know. There's no one left in the verse. Unless Charmy comes and eats his magic. No, but there's no one left in the verse that can stand up to Lucci right now. So I'm wondering, like, now the hype isn't necessarily dying down. I'm reignited by him literally using Fukelion as a spear. But still, I'm intrigued to see where the narrative is going to go. Because we're kind of in this catch-22 where all this buildup and now the payoff to this buildup is amazing. But now we're in the questioning phase of like, well, where do we go from here? Because it seems like our cast is in a whole ton of trouble. However, regardless, I do think this is, once again, just a perfect chapter. Like, despite, once again, actually, no, now that I think about it. Actually, no. There's, how many pages is this chapter? Because I only see the one double spread. So that'll be a 2-page buff for the rest of the chapter. 2 double spreads. So yeah, 13 pages. So this chapter is actually like, quick math, 15 pages long. Still, it still is conveying such a let me find my words. It is paying off the build up very, very well, and I appreciate that. And the chapter literally takes care of every problem that was currently established and shows us everything, so now we're just left on a clean slate for the next chapter. So I'm honestly excited. 10 out of 10 chapter for me. However, those are my thoughts on the chapter. Please tell me your thoughts on the chapter in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if I do have a Patreon down there, if you do want to help me out, I greatly appreciate it. And don't forget that little notification bell. Now, thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with a Pencil, writing off.